next stage, we'll plank up the sides. This should be nicely set in there. There we go. Yeah. Doesn't look too bad. Okay, start with this first plank. Yes, it looks a lot better now that I've straightened out that hump that we had. Okay, I don't know how far back I've got to go with this. This one here, I think. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, I'll do the first one with you watching on, and then I shall carry on. On my own, and you can catch up with me whenever. Always fun. Okay, let that one set in, and then we'll try the next one, which is the front end up to here and the back end all the way to the back. Come back to you. You can see I've got the second part, second plank is installed. I'm going to leave it clipped up for about half an hour or so to set. It's got a lot of spring in it, so you just have to be patient. It'll go eventually. And of course, you have to get the second one dry before you can put the third one on. So I guess I'll be back in about half an hour. Okay, let's see how this is set. It's only been a few seconds for you. It's been a few hours for me, obviously. Looking quite good. This one's a bit... Let's pull this one in a bit. I'm quite pleased with that. I've still got some clips in. Right. So I guess we can start sticking the next one. Start sticking the next one in. And for that we go back to this and I'm still sticking it a bit, so okay. I realised that you spend a lot of time looking at the back of my hands, so I'm going to see if I can put the camera higher up and look down onto what I'm doing, if it makes it any easier. Well, not easier, but better, so you don't spend all the video looking at the back of my hands, which is a little bit crazy really. So I thought I'd cut it short for a minute. There we go, that's where it's going to go. About there. So I'm going to start with these two here. Okay, so put you up high, maybe you can see a bit better. See. It's what we call accommodator errors. From here we can go all the way on. What did I say about get my hands in the way? Now I've got my head in the way. I really have to work out a better way of doing this. I'll work on it. This was one that broke when I was bending it, but there's enough on here to fit the front down here. So I shall soak it and then we'll bend it with heat and we'll see how it goes together. What I've got done so far, it's bent in the shape. Doesn't look a bit rough at the moment down at this end. So you can see it sticking out. It will be sanded into shape later, but you can see it's lying quite flat all the way along. A little bit of a gap there. Don't think I can do much about a little gap like that. The thing is, by the time it's painted, you'll never see that gap. And all the way along, a little bit of a gap here as well. When you can see through it like that, you know, just there's a gap, see? I don't think I can squeeze that together anymore than it already is. I don't want to push it, I don't want to break it. There we go. Put a little bit of super glue in there. Super glue being a capillary glue, it runs into the crevice. I'm running out of that one. I think I'm going to have to get a new one. Well, I had a small problem with my camera yesterday, but that seems to be fixed now. Hope these have all stuck in, and now I've got to start off by opening a fresh tube of super glue, and then we'll see how that is. Up to the 4th row now. I don't intend to show every single row that I'm putting in, just the awkward ones. I'm going to carry on with this, and it'll probably be a few days before I come back to you with a bit more completed than this. It's very slow going. It takes about 30 minutes each time for a row to dry. So at this rate, it could take a month just to do this little bit of flanking, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, see you later. So on to the second side. You can see it's going an awful lot easier this time. Just get some good bend going with my trusty iron, and it working quite nicely. A few gaps that are going to have to be filled up later on, but as I said before, when it's sanded down, all of these bumps and lumps should disappear and it should look quite nice. We'll see. Okay, that's it for now. So now we see if it's managed to hold it. That's pretty good. Quite pleased with that. Right, we'll get this piece on the front. Now I've cut this piece nice and long, so I've got plenty of room to bend it. Be the next part. on here first. Just move it along a bit so we can see what you can see what I'm doing. Oh, let's see if this is set enough to bend in. Find it by just pushing on it. Yep. This is just water. It's the way they show to bend it. But, when I come to do the big bends on the bits further down here, I will do those before I put the wood in place. Just give it a good soak so I get some bend on it. Now then. Don't worry if you scorch the wood when you're doing this, because it will sand later, and then after it's been sanded, of course it's going to be painted, this one. Might have to put some more water on that. If you can hear a bell ringing, it's not the Christmas bells ringing out, it's the vegetable man coming round. You can see how the wood bends a lot easier when it's been wet, and then that's where it's going to go. So let's put some glue on and see if we can get it in place. So this is where all these little bits that I've cut off the end of the long strips are going to come in handy, because I have to plank this piece here. Now the first one goes on the outside. Oh, the usual fun and games. Now we'll let that set for half an hour and then we'll come back to it. Well, I think it's had about half an hour, so it should have set. But one disturbing thing that I've noticed, let's see if I can show you on camera, I seem to have developed a slight warp. You see how this is level here, but the front end up there is tilted that way. You can't see it very clearly on the camera, but if I go down here, it's not much of a tilt, but it's enough that my OCD won't let me get away with it. So I'm going to have to see how I can straighten this hull. I guess it's with the way I was doing it. I did all one side and then I did all the other side. Maybe I should have done one plank each side and one plank the other side. Yeah. But there is a small warp there. You can just about see it. But it's only a small warp, and I guess with some steam blowing at it and some pressure put on at the right place, I can straighten it out. Okay, let me see if I can set up to do the rest of this planking at the back, and I'll carry on. Okay, I've just nicked a small piece at the back here to fit in, and we'll see how it goes. Right then, I've had another little look at this warp, and it's not as bad as I thought it was. It's something I can work out if I'm going along. There is this very slightest of misalignment, shall we say, but that will come out. I think I said before that I do make mistakes. I probably made the mistake of doing one side and then the other instead of doing one plank on each side at a time, which is what I shall do in the future. But I shall apply a little bit of steam where I think the warp is, and hopefully it will come out. Okay, that's it for this week. I'm off to watch some football.